Hi everyone. Hope you all are good. We are here for grade 7 math. You can find all the lessons on aplustudents.com. You have to log in there using your email address and password as provided by the administrator. Then you have to select math from the subject tab. Scroll down to grade 7 math and then click on view all lessons. There you can find a list of the chapters. We're going to start with the chapter proportional relationships. The lessons we're going to cover today are graph proportional relationships, identify proportional relationships, find the constant of proportionality word problems, and solve problems involving proportional relationships. So please make sure you have your notebook and pencil so that you can note down the important examples and definitions as well. Okay, here I am on the chapter proportional relationships. Let's just start with the lesson that is graph proportional relationships. Graph the function y equals 5x. Click to select the graphs on the point. You can graph a function by plotting ordered pairs, find ordered pairs by plugging in the values for x. So just plug in different values of x, and then we have the values of y we can then plot. So we'll just plug x equals 0, and 5 times 0 is 0. So when x is 0, y is 0. So when x is 1, y is 5. So we have 2 points, 0, 0 and 1, 5. So just plot these 2 points. Here is 0, 0 and here is 1, 5. Just join these 2 points and make a line. So what we have to substitute different values of x so that we can have values of y, and then we have to plot the graph. So that is the graph for y equals 5x. Let's just start with the test questions. Graph the solution y function y equals 3x. So you have to find the values of for the function and then see correct option. Let me just find the values first. Y equals 3x. So when x is 0, y equals 3 times 0, that is 0. When x is 1, 3 times 1 is 3. So we have two pairs, 0, 0 and 1, 3. Now let's see which graph has these 2 points, right? That is 0, 0. The next one is X is 1, Y is 3. So option number 1 is the correct option. That is the graph that has the point 0, 0 and Y. So option number 1 is the correct option. Graph this function y equals 4x. So let's just calculate the points and see the correct option. I think that's option number 2. Let's just calculate the values. Because that is a when x is 0, y is 0. When x is 1, 4 times 1 is 4. So that is we have 2.0014 because I can see this graph clearly has these 2 points. Here is 0, 0 and here is x is 1, y is 4. So option number 2 is the correct option. Option number 2 actually it is. Option number 2 is the correct option. Okay, the next one is graph this function y equals, but that is, isn't it the second one? Okay, the second option is the correct option. Graph this function y equals 5x. That is y equals 5x. So that means when x is 0, y is 0. When x is 1, y is 5. So let's just see which graph has these 2 points. I think that is option number 1. Option number 1 has these 2 points. Option number 1 is the correct option. That has the point 0, 0 and 1, 5. Option number 1 is the correct option. Graph this function y equals 2x. So which is the correct option? Option number 1 is the correct option. That has the point 0, 0 and 1, 2. Okay, you can complete the lesson by yourself later today. Let me just move on to next lesson. The next lesson is identify proportional relationships. Let's just start with the next lesson. Select the graph that shows the proportional relationship between x and y. So we are given two of the graphs, right? We need to see which graph shows the proportional relationship. So option number two is the correct option. Two variables have a proportional relationship if the ratio of one variable to the other variable is constant. The graph of a proportional relationship between x and y is a straight line passing through the origin. To determine whether a graph shows a proportional relationship between x and y, see if it is a straight line passing through the origin. So that is a straight line, but it does not pass it through the origin. So that means that is not this graph does not show the proportional relationship, right? The second one is the proportional relationship because that is a line that it passes through the origin, a straight line that passes through the origin. So that is a proportional relationship. Okay, let's just start with the test question. Select the graph that shows a proportional relationship. So, which is the correct option? Option number two is the correct option because that is a straight line passing through the origin. So, that is the proportional relationship. One is also a straight line but does not passes through the origin. So, option number two is the correct option. That is a straight line passing through the origin. Select the graph that shows a proportional relationship. Okay, the next lesson is find the constant of proportionality word problems. Vivian cycled a total of 10 kilometers by making two trips to work. Later on, she cycled 15 kilometers during three trips. How many kilometers does Vivian cycle per trip? So, the quantities have a constant ratio. The constant ratio is called the constant of variation. So, you need to find the constant ratio. So, you have to do y divided by x. So, y is 10, x is 2. So, 10 divided by 2 is 5. And 15 divided by 3 is also 5. Let's just start with the test questions. Make you two plants with two seed packs. Then later in this season, she grew four plants using four seed packets. How many plants can me grew with one seed packet? So two plants and two seed packs and four plants with four seed packs. You have to do y divided by x, that is 2 divided by 2 and 4 divided by 4. So that is 1. So that means with one seed pack, he can grow one plant. Option number one is the correct option. That is one plant. Pairs or should Gates Auto Wash had revenues of $12 from two customers. At another point, the auto wash earned $18 in revenue from three customers. How much revenue does Gates Auto Wash have per customer? So 12, two customers generate $12 and same way three customers generates $18. So you have to do y by x, that is y and that is x. Then 18 over 3. So which is the correct option? Option number one is the correct option, that is 6. Last retirement party will cost $6 if she invites three guests. If she invites eight guests, it will cost $16. What is the cost per guest? So that is three customers and three guests cost $6 and eight guests cost $16. So you have to do y over x, that is 6 over 3 and 16 over 8. So which is the correct option? Option number two is the correct option, that is $2. Malia wrote a total of 8 pages over 2 hours. A few days later, she wrote 12 pages over the course of 3 hours. How many pages does Malia write per hour? That is 2 hours and 8 pages, 3 hours and 12 pages. That is 8 over 2 and 12 over 3. 2 times 4 is 8 and 3 times 4 is 12. So that is 4 pages. Option number one is the correct option. Option number one is the correct option. That is 4 pages. Owen used 9 centimeters of tape to wrap three presents. Then she used an additional 15 centimeters of tape to wrap another five presents. How many centimeters of tape does Owen use to wrap each present? So that is option number one is the correct option. That is 3 centimeter. 9 divided by 3 is 3 and 15 divided by 5 is 3. So option number one is the correct option. Pablo jarred 12 liters of jam after 3 days. Then he jarred an additional 16 liters of jam after another 4 days of jam making. How many liters of jam does Pablo jar each day. So which is the correct option? That is 4 liters. Option number two is the correct option. Diane baked 10 cookies with 2 scoops of flour. Another day, she baked 15 more cookies with 3 scoops of flour. How many cookies can be made with 1 scoop of flour? So, which is the correct option? That is 4 cookies. Option number one is the correct option. So that is 5 cookies. Sorry. Ella bought 6 souvenirs during 2 days of vacation, and on another trip she bought 18 souvenirs during 6 days of vacation. How many souvenirs does Ella buy during 1 day of vacation? So which is the correct option? That is 3 souvenirs. Option number one is the correct option. Kira's official recycled a total of 8 kilograms of paper over 2 weeks. Over the next 4 weeks, the office recycled 16 kilograms of paper. How many kilograms of paper does Kira's office recycle each week? So, which is the correct option? That is 4 kilograms. Option number two is the correct option. Okay, you can complete the lesson by yourself. Let me just move on to next lesson. The next lesson is solve problems involving proportional relationships. So let's just start with the test questions. This question shows how the time required to screen print a batch of shirts is related to the number of shirts in that batch. T equals to S. The variable S represents the number of shirts in the batch, and the variable T represents the time required to print the shirts. How long does it take to screen print a batch of 5 shirts? So you are given 5 shirts, right? S is 5. T equals 2 times 5. 2 times 5 is 10. So option number 2 is the correct option. That is 10 minutes. This equation shows how the total number of necklaces Ballet owns is related to the amount of money she spent on additional necklaces. The variable D represents the amount of money she spent on additional necklaces, and the variable N represents the total number of necklaces she owns. With $6 to spend on new necklaces, how many total necklaces can Ballet own? That is N equals D. So N equals 6. Option number 2 is the correct option. That is 6 necklaces. This equation shows how a sapling's height depends on its age. Age equals 3a. The variable a represents the age of the sapling in years. The variable h represents the height of the sapling in inches. How tall was the sapling when it was 5 years old? H equals 3a. So a is 5. 3 times 5 equals, that is 3 times 5, that is 15. Option number 1 is the correct option. That is 18 postcards. Option number two is the correct option. The equation shows how the amount Jennifer earns from dog walking depends on the number of hours she works. D equals 13H. The variable H represents the number of hours spent walking dogs, and the variable D represents the amount of money earned. After a total of 1 hour of walking dogs, how much money will Jennifer have earned? So this is the correct option. 13 times 1 is 13, so option number 2 is the correct option. The equation shows how the length of Steven's hair depends on the number of years she since his last haircut. The variable T represents the number of years Steven since his last haircut, and the variable H represents the hair length in centimeters. Steven last got his haircut 1 year ago. How long is it now? So, which is the correct option? The correct option is 13. Option number 1 is the correct option. Okay, you can complete the lesson by yourself later today. So we were working on grade 7 math. The chapter we were working on is proportional relationships. The lessons we have covered today are graph proportional relationships, identify proportional relationships, find the constant of proportionality over problems, solve problems involving proportional relationships. So please make sure before the next session you can complete all the practice questions for the lesson we just did. That is your homework until next session. So if you need more help with any of the lessons, you can click on the live chat button. Tutors are available there to help you. Or either you can write down the questions in the chat box. I'm here to answer all your questions and confusions if you have any. So any questions you can ask if you have any. No questions? Okay, then that's